Okay. It's not time to fear. It's not time to cry. It's not time to go and stick your head inside of the sand or anything like that. Well, if you have money inside of the stock market, maybe it might be. But if you have money inside of cryptocurrency, just chill out for a moment. And I'll tell you exactly the reason why. What's up, Crypto Land? Black Crypto here, bringing another cryptocurrency video. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell before we even get started. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and I'll wait. Did you hit the subscribe button yet? Hit the bell. We're waiting on you. So if you have a portfolio right now when it comes to cryptocurrency, I know you've been watching it over the past several weeks. I mean, there's a lot has been going on in news in terms of this virus that's been out, and a lot of talk in terms of the potential depression and in terms of a global recession that's going to be happening. I don't know. I mean, the last time you experienced anything like that was back in the 20s. And right now it's a little bit different because back then it was a little bit more localized in terms of America. But now we have in terms of global trade on a totally different level. So things might react a little bit differently. Right now there's a whole lot of panic inside of the economy where, you have the stock market that's just going down, and down. Not only the stock market, but you have in terms of the futures market, in terms of the oil market that's going completely down in terms of the price right now, and it's setting a lot of fear inside of the world right now in terms of different governments, in terms of different big corporations, and people not knowing exactly what to do. Now you've also seen in terms of Bitcoin where the price of Bitcoin is starting to go down as well. Right now we're trading Bitcoin below $8,000, and this is an area of concerns for a lot of people because they're seeing the price go down when they think that the price should be going up because of the stock market's going down. They're saying, hey, that Bitcoin should be a great safe haven for people to start putting their money in, and it seems not to be reacting that kind of way. So what's really going on with Bitcoin? When it comes to individuals like me, I'm a Bitcoin miner and I'm a developer in terms of the space. So when I look at the market, I'm thinking, hey, it seems pretty normal to me. Well, that's because I'm in the know, right? For somebody who's not deeply involved in the industry, you're looking at it from a price perspective, and then you're looking at it and saying, hey, everybody else who's speculating on the price, I'm just going to go along with that in terms of the news. One of the things that you have to remember in terms of Bitcoin is that this is a new technology. Not only that it's a new technology, it's going to take a long time for it to reach its maturity. And with that maturity generally means reaching the price point that a lot of people will be happy with. You have to remember also that adoption in terms of people using Bitcoin is still very much in its infant stage. One of the ways that I like to compare that to is, for instance, let's think about the hood and you think about the suburbs, right? Inside of the hood, you have a lot of people that have a lot of money. As you know, you see a lot of people flossing money. People have some of the same cars that people in other rich areas or in the suburbs may actually have, but they're not spending money exactly the same way, or they're not investing in the exact same way that people in the suburbs are actually doing that as well. Not only that, when you look at the suburbs, you have a lot of different stores that are in those particular areas, a lot of big box stores that are in those areas, for instance, the Walmarts and the Kmarts and the Targets and all of these different individual stores and Starbucks and things of that nature that will go to those specific areas, but they will not go to the hood. Now, is it a fear because they just say, hey, there's just too much risk inside of the hood and that's why we won't put our stores there? But we can kind of look at the market when it comes to Bitcoin the exact same way when it comes to Bitcoin and it comes to stocks. Stocks is very new, it's very risky, and a lot of people are saying whether or not they should be putting their businesses or they should be putting their money behind Bitcoin. But because stocks is a little bit more safer and it's a little bit more in terms of age-wise, right? Let's go ahead and put our money there and let's just see exactly what happened. If the money goes down there, okay, well, it has the potential to go back up, and that's what's been happening over the last several years. And in terms of Bitcoin, should we actually do that? No, because you know what? We have a potential of losing our money, but that's because you really do not understand the potential of Bitcoin. So I just wanted to make a video right now today just to give you a little bit of confidence and saying, hey, listen, although the markets is just really going crazy right now, definitely make an educational guess when it comes to you and your finances. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. Make sure and seek a professional when it comes to that. I'm really just telling you my own personal experiences and things that I'm doing right now. Of course, what you want to do is, gather as much cash as you can because you never know when a crisis might actually come about. You always want to invest because that's just a smart thing to do for you and your future. That's what I'm doing for myself, whether it has to do with the stock market, whether it has to do with precious metals. Of course, when it comes to cryptocurrency, I'm definitely heavily invested in that because I think it has a very good upside when it comes to the future. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen with the future in terms of the stock market. Hey, will the stock market completely crash and go away? I definitely do not think so because the stock market is so tied to a lot of these big companies. Now, a lot of these big companies are being uprooted now when it comes to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and the companies that's going to be coming about because of that. But is that enough to definitely turn the stock market all the way over in terms of 180? I definitely do not think so. I think that there is a better day in the future. Now, do I think that the US dollar will be devalued coming up soon? Possibly. We do not know the future. We do not know what's happening in terms of government. Of course, they're always printing out new money and trying to stimulate the economy, but only time will tell whether or not that will be enough. Because you know what? America they owe a lot of different other countries trillions of dollars. And when that debt is called, there's going to be a lot of problems. We do not know exactly when that's going to be, whether it's going to be in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, or whether or not it's going to be in you and I in terms of our lifetimes. We do not actually know. The one thing I do know is that Bitcoin is here. It's here to stay, and it's definitely going to have a strong future in the future when it comes to the technology. And I think that this is something that you definitely want to pay close attention to. I think this is something that you definitely want to pay close attention to when it comes to investing inside of the technology, because right now it is definitely all about investing right now. It's not about using the technology. It's not about using cryptocurrency as a form of payment right now because it's still in its infant stages. Like I said, as a person that's involved in terms of cryptocurrency, I know that there's a lot of things that's happening right now in terms of cryptocurrency because of where it was a couple of years ago and why it could not be used as a form of payment. But as the years has been going on, there has been a lot of improvements that have been done to the technology itself. And there's only a matter of time when the masses will get right back on board when it comes to cryptocurrency, and the technology would be able to uphold all of those people that's in terms of using it. And at that time, will it be too late in terms of you investing in it, or will it be too late in terms of you making money from it? Absolutely. But it would not be too late in terms of you getting involved in it because you would have no choice. This is just like in the past when you had the internet and then you had debit cards. A lot of people did not want to put their credit cards or the debit cards online in terms of using it. Then it came a time when you just cannot avoid it. Right now, you cannot do any business without using debit cards or credit cards. Who uses checks anymore, really? So there will come a time in the future where you will not be able to do any kind of transactions without using cryptocurrencies. It'll come a time inside the future where you have to get some kind of goods and services from somebody in a different country. And the only way to interact with them in terms of payments is by using cryptocurrencies. So what I would say right now, if you do not want to invest in cryptocurrencies, what you need to do is definitely educate yourself. Educate yourself as much as possible when it comes to cryptocurrency so you'll be more familiar with it. You will have a better idea of it in terms of safely using it as well, and have more confidence in the future when it becomes synonymous with any kind of currency there is in the future. Who knows what the price of Bitcoin is going to be tomorrow? Who knows what the price of the stock market is going to be tomorrow? It may have went down a couple points over the past several weeks, and next couple weeks it may go up several points. Maybe this is the time when the stock market is starting to be just as volatile as cryptocurrencies, just because a lot of individuals are starting to invest in terms of the stock market. Never before have we seen a lot of people invest in the stock market, and this has to do mostly in terms of fractional shares, in terms of a lot of these different apps that's coming about, in terms of the Cash App and the Robinhood and a lot of these other different types of apps. Now, this might be one of the reasons why we see a lot of fluctuations when it comes to the stock market. And then when you add on in terms of a lot of the fear that's going on with this particular virus and a lot of things that's happening in terms of different governments right now in terms of global trade, this might be making, in terms of the stock market, very unpredictable. And that might be the exact reason exactly why things are going the way that they are right now. But we see a lot of smoke screens that's out there, and we just really do not know what to believe. So one of the things I want to consider is when it comes to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has steadily went up over the last several years, and we've seen the dips when it comes to Bitcoin. So we're not really too scared about what's going to happen because we're familiar about that volatility when it comes to cryptocurrencies. So it might be one of those particular types of assets that you want to take your money and put into it as well. Now, one of the things we have to also consider when it comes to cryptocurrency, the price has went down in terms of just like the stock market. And one of the reasons why the price might be going down, especially alongside in terms of stocks, is because there is a lot of big money that's inside of cryptocurrency. And a lot of those traditional big companies, they're used to whenever they see any kind of fluctuation, whether it's by a couple points, a couple $100s, they pull out their money. And this is one of the reasons why we've seen maybe that dip in terms of Bitcoin, just like the analogy that I use in terms of the hood versus the suburbs. Now, this is one of the things that I want you to consider when it comes to the price of Bitcoin. It has gone down, but it has not shot way down in terms of under $3,000. Now, if Bitcoin goes underneath $3,000, that is an area of concern, and I would be the first one to tell you that I am very concerned if that actually happens. But it hasn't happened right now, and I don't believe it will ever happen. But I do think that the price will go up, and when will it go up? I do not know. So take the time right now to start educating yourself when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because you want to be in a position that when the price starts going up, you'll be in a better position. You have more confidence to start taking advantage of that when that time comes. I don't think this is a time when you should be selling all of your assets, because I think you want to stay in that neutral zone and see exactly what's going to happen. Now, if you're a person that's going to be making millions of dollars from that sale, then maybe you might want to consider it. But mostly, like most of you and I, we only have maybe a few $100s or a few $1,000s maybe invested in any of these particular types of assets. So doing any kind of sell-off really wouldn't be beneficial unless you're really in some kind of personal crisis and you need to take that money and you need to do something with it. Otherwise, you might want to hold on to it and you want to see exactly what's going to be happening with the market. Now, one trick that you always want to do as well when you want to take advantage of any kind of downtrend is to start buying in terms of different levels of that downtrend to kind of offset your investments. But if you're in a position to definitely hold, I would definitely do this. Guys, once again, like I said, I am not a professional advisor. Make sure you go out there and you seek a professional advisor when it comes to any type of investments. So there you have it, guys. That's my 2 cents. Like I said, stop panicking, stop worrying right now, because right now you really cannot control the market. It's really not up to you. But what you can do is educate yourself a little bit better when it comes to investments, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, and try to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do. Guys, go ahead and stop over to my Instagram and my Twitter, which is BLK Crypto, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.